Hello, I hope you're well and welcome back to my channel, Hannah Tay. I want to share with you 4 books that I want to finish before the end of September. So I obviously still have my book club pick book, which is Gin and Dagger's The Murder, She Wrote book. I'll still be reading that one, but I have 4 books here. Some of them I've already started. Some of them I want to definitely get well into before the end of September. So I'm just going to get straight into it. I have The Sadness of Witches by Janice Elliott. This was a completely random charity shop buy. I haven't read anything about this author. I haven't read anything about this book. I've never heard anything. I have no idea. So it's about a couple that they moved to Cornwall and there is a witch living there, and a witch puts a spell on the man. But it's supposed to be a comedy book, very funny, very witty. For some reason, I thought it was like Faye Weldon, who she writes very funny, witty books that I really like. And so I thought it might be that kind of vibe, but I actually have no idea what this is really about, but I want to get into that. I then have a book that I actually completely abandoned. This is Nathaniel West's Day of the Locust, and this is a book. It's about a man who he finds himself in Hollywood, and he is a set designer. This was originally published in 1939, and he's kind of living the dream because he's just finished art school, and then he's got this really good gig painting sets for these big Hollywood productions, but he's not fulfilled. He's not really happy in that. He then befriends this man who is a dwarf, who is a very violent, volatile man, and he says, if you're looking for somewhere to stay, which he is, then you can rent somewhere in my apartment building where I live so we can spend more time together. So when he goes to the apartment building, he sees this beautiful woman and just is instantly like in love with her. Instant love, infatuation, obsession. She's very beautiful. She's a young actress. She's going to be a star one day. And in his bedroom, he has a headshot of her that she gives to him. And he decides, okay, I'm going to rent somewhere in this apartment building just so I can be closer to her. And hopefully one day we can date and we can be together. And it's really, nothing is what it seems. So they're all living in Hollywood. The dwarf works in Hollywood. They all work in Hollywood, but none of them are in the position they want to be. So the dwarf has like drinking problems and he's a really volatile man. And then our main character, he really wanted to be an artist and he's doing these set designs, but he doesn't know if it's what he really wants to do. And he's obsessed with this woman who isn't really obsessed with him at all. She kind of just sees him as like, oh, he's like a sweet little guy. That's it. There's no like passion or romance. And she's not dating anyone because she is a prostitute. You think she's this star and she's not. She's actually having to work as a prostitute because she can't get big enough roles to be able to survive on the pay she gets from that. So she has to be a prostitute at night. So she's not interested in really dating anyone at the moment. Really intriguing plot. And I thought I would really like it. But then it just seemed to be about his relationship with the volatile man and not really about her as much. And I thought this was going to be like John Fowles' The Collector, which I read that book and I didn't love it, but I liked the vibe of it. It was about a man who he collects butterflies. He has a huge butterfly collection. He collects them in jars, kills them, and then pins them. And then he decides one day he's going to kidnap a woman. And it's about the woman trying to outsmart him so she can escape. And I thought that book was way too long. I didn't really enjoy the book too much. I actually unhauled it and spoke about it on the channel, but it had a vibe to it, had a style to it, which is just had like, just, you know, some books just have a style, like a coolness to them that it really had. And I thought this book would have that as well. But I just didn't give it a good enough shot, maybe. I need to read into it a little bit more. Also, this edition is really beautiful, but I wouldn't buy it because it's actually quite small, the print in it. And so I think that was annoying me as well, that the words were so small in it. But the cover is really like a shocking cover. It's got the lips on the back. And so that's why I got it for the cover. But the print in it isn't fantastic. But I feel I just need to give it a little bit more of a go, a little bit more of a shot with this book, maybe. I then have Roald Dahl's My Year. I spoke about this on the channel. I bought it from a charity shop, and you know I love Quentin Blake. Quentin Blake illustrated all of Roald Dahl's works, and Quentin Blake also brought out his own books. He's got this series, Miss Armitage, which is a children's book series, and it's really funny about this woman called Miss Armitage and the like calamities she gets into, so I could really recommend that. But I have a lot of Roald Dahl because I just love Quentin Blake's work so much. From Roald Dahl, I love James and the Giant Peach. I think that is an absolutely genius book. I adore it. but I'm not a huge Roald Dahl fan. But this, it intrigued me. Roald Dahl wrote it in the last year of his life, and it was him going through the year. So it was a January, and it would talk about the changing season of January, and then talk about him being a young boy and things he used to do in January through the passing seasons as a young boy. And this, as I said, was written in the last year of his life, and it's really him reflecting on his life. I've just noticed I've got some kind of like chocolate bar wrapper in it. Why, Hannah? Why? Okay, it's a Rocky bar. I love Rocky bars. Rocky bars are just so elite, aren't they? Like, they're a chocolate bar, like a biscuit chocolate bar, but I don't know if they've got, what's that thing, like malt biscuit in it that just makes it taste so good. So yeah, I've got a little, I must have been eating and then thought, I'll just use this as a bookmark. So I put that in. That was at February's page. I think I had this idea that every month I would read that month's edition, and that'd be a really nice thing to do, but I just never got round to it, so I'm just going to leave it out so I actually do read it. The illustrations are stunning. The thing that I love that Quentin Blake illustrates is nature. So I love when he does people's faces and everything like that, but my favourite thing from him really is nature, and in this, just really stunning watercolours. Really, really gorgeous, that just perfectly complement, oh look, the hillside, the rolling hillside, English countryside. Oh God, I'm gonna love it. So I'm gonna leave that out, and I'll probably finish this before the end of September, but I only got into February, and I don't know why I didn't read on. There must have been a reason. It obviously wasn't speaking to me, or I wasn't very interested in it, so I don't know what my review of that's going to be. I then have a Stephen King. I have Joyland. I actually bought this from a library. That's why it's got that like shiny protected cover on it. I bought it for the cover. I thought the cover was gorgeous. And this is about a college student. He's called Devin, and he gets a summer job at Joyland, which is like a fun fair. And then he finds out that at the fun fair, a woman died, and he wants to find out who was this woman and what happened to her. Although if you go online they say it's not about that. They say it's just a coming of age story with a little element to do with this murder, but that's not a big part of the plot. So I don't know. I have no idea whether I'm going to like this or not. I've read 2 Stephen Kings. I've read Misery, which I absolutely adored, but I do feel the film is better than the book. And there's no criticism in the book. The film just takes all the best elements of the book and puts it into the film. I also read Carrie, and I don't feel like I loved Carrie. I much preferred Misery because I feel a character of Annie is such a strong character. If you've seen the Misery film, you'll know like Kathy Bates just absolutely gets the character of Annie. And the character of Annie is just such a fun character in the book. But I remember getting a little bit bored as I was reading Misery. It just felt a little bit too long. And that's why I much preferred the film. And so I don't know how I'm going to feel about this book, but I just thought it would be kind of a fun book about, it says, who dares enter Funhouse of Fear? Joyland. Just a fun kind of coming of age book. I haven't read anything that's like the male perspective coming of age from him because I've only read Carrie and Misery, so it'll be interesting to get that. I did read a coming of age recently, which was The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I stopped reading it, and not because I didn't like it. I was enjoying it, but I just thought I'm going to carry on reading this, and I'm going to at the end of it go, this is a good book, but I'm not going to love it. And it's from a boy's perspective. He'd been just coming of age and navigating friendships and sexuality, but it wasn't a book that was really speaking to me and that I was going to keep. As you know, I only keep the books nowadays that I love, and I unhaul everything else. I just thought, I know I'm going to unhaul this, and this isn't a criticism of the book. This is just something I really want to change with my broader reading, is stop just, I've started the book, so I've got to finish it now, when I know I'm either not enjoying it or I'm bored by it. I just feel like put it down. There's so many books in the world that I want to discover and explore, and so many new authors to try, that why am I just wasting my time slugging through this book, that at the end of it I'm going to be like, yeah, that was fine. Like, I don't want to read fine books anymore. I want to read books that I'm like, that's my new favourite author. I'm going to need to find everything that they've written. I need to find it because I loved that reading experience so much. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense? Like, there are a lot of books that I just think are fine that I've read, and I don't want that in my reading future. I want all the books that I read me to just be more like, I'm just going to stop reading it. If I've got to 100 pages and it's not inspiring me and I don't feel like I'm going to love it, I'm just going to think it's a good, okay book, just put it down, find another book. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you go on holiday and you only have a certain amount of books, so you might bring like 3 books with you on holiday and you have to finish those 3 books. And you might be reading one thinking, this is kind of a naff book. I don't really want to finish it, but I'm in Spain. I can't find any English books in Spain. I only have these 3 books with me. That's how I've treated my whole reading life. It's like I'm trapped. I'm trapped with these books. Once I've started them, I have to finish them. Even if I'm hating them, I have to slog my way through. And I just this needs to be the year of DNF. I know we're like the year's nearly over, but the rest of the year I need to really get on that DNF journey and go, no. I think it's because I think, well, I've spent the money on the book, so I've spent money on it. I want to get my money's worth from it, but I know that if I finish it, it's just going to annoy me that I spent money on it and that I don't like it. And so I need to, basically, this ramble is, I need to DNF books more. So I'm going to give Joyland 70 pages. And after, I think it's like a 280 page book. After 70 pages, if I'm just thinking, this is okay, or I'm not loving it, then no, it needs to be put down. Tell me, what you do? Do you just push through books like I do and go, well, I spent the money, I've bought it now, I need to read it? Or are you much more like, no, I value my time. I don't want to read something that at the end I'm going to go, that really wasn't for me. I value my reading time. I only have so much reading time, whether after work or like when your kids are asleep, you only have such a small sliver of reading time. I feel the majority of us have, that I'm just wasting it. I really am. I need to do like a whole video on this, on how small like reading time, you know, the majority of us have with jobs, with children, and then I'm squandering my reading time. That's why I'm not finding great books. It's because I'm pushing my way through really boring books and I'm squandering what little reading time I actually have available to me. So I'm going to end this video here. Tell me what you thought about anything that I rambled on about in this video. And I'm dressed like a Victorian child. I bought this dress because I'm going to a bar mitzvah, and I bought it for the bar mitzvah. And I like the collar, but I do feel I look like an orphaned Victorian child. I don't know if it's very flattering. Anyway, let me know about the dress. I'm going to end it here, and I'll see you again soon for another video.